Joseph Gordon-Levitt, JGL, otherwise known as Jgul, is back. He's not returning as Batman or Nightwing. He's returning as Don Jon. And Don Jon, he likes to use his schlong. Don Jon is a movie about Don Jon. Don Jon, he only cares about a few things. Funny thing is, those few things are the same things I care about. He cares about his body, as you can tell. Look at this wonderful physique. His ladies, as you all know, I get plenty of bitches. His family, they're okay. His church, we all know how much I'm a fan of Passion of the Christ. And most importantly, he cares about his porn. I love a good porno. I'll just name off a few of my favorite porn stars right now. Katie Morgan, Jenna Hayes, Sasha Grey. You know, they're all former porn stars now. Those rotting vaginas. Anyway, Don Jon, this guy is a porn addict. A porn addict who is in denial that he is a porn addict. Now, for some reason, I've done a lot of research on things like sex addiction and porn addiction. I was worried for myself at one point. As a matter of fact, if I was a porn addict, I wouldn't care. I'd probably just talk about it more on the show. I already do enough talking about it, but whatever. But anyway, you know, it's like I got interested in it because how many people will tell you that, you know, porn addiction and sex addiction is just a mental thing. But if you do some like legitimate research, you will discover that porn addiction is not just some mental thing. It's an actual addiction, you know? Maybe 95% of you are people who are probably have porn on the other web browser right now. But anyway, the porn addiction thing was the main reason I wanted to actually see this film. I think anything dealing with porn addiction is interesting because you get to learn at the same time, you get to get some good visuals of some naked chicks. It's a strange film, but it's not too strange. And it deals with porn addiction, but it doesn't make the subject matter like super fucking heavy. They're not trying to bash like a message in your head or something. It explores, you know, very controversial subjects in a rather comical way, and an enlightening way, an amusing way. It's always entertaining despite how dark the themes can actually get. So yes, if you're a youngin' who, you know, wants to sneak in at Don Jon and catch some nipply, go for it. Go ahead, check it out. This film has a lot of pornographic images. You don't need porn. You just need Don Jon. Another thing too, this movie also features my favorite porn site, www.pornhub.com. Click right here, on my crotch. A link to www.pornhub.com. It's a real website. Watch some porn and then come back and finish the review. The best place to start with this film, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. There's a lot of dicks I'm going to be sucking this year because now he's on the list. This is that rare film that stars the writer/director, yet it isn't distracting the whole time watching the writer/director be the main character in the film. Because Joseph Gordon-Levitt's role is just so immersive. This guy knows Don Jon in and out. He embodies the role in such an impressive way that you could swear it was his only job on the film. On top of that too, he just exudes such awesome fucking confidence. And you know, there's scenes where he's getting blowjobs. It was easy for me to imagine, you know, if you switch out that woman with me. This guy could have just been a complete joke. Just like a one-note character. And he manages to bring a level of depth to him, and he manages to actually make this guy, who is still funny, rather a sincere, charming performance. All around, the acting is just very solid. Scarlett Johansson, wow, I forgot how hot she was. Sometimes she kind of looks like the animal that John Leguizamo plays in Ice Age. A sloth? Yeah, sometimes she does. I'd fuck that sloth. Scarlett Johansson, you know, plays the girl of Don Jon's dreams, which is apparently a high-maintenance, controlling bitch. If I was Don Jon, I would still, you know, want to do things with this. Look at her. Look at her. Are you looking? Good. Now pause the video and masturbate. She's great in this role. Completely believable. You know, when I saw the trailer, I thought she was gonna be like a really annoying one-note character too, but she was actually this very, very impressive performance, man. I totally bought her as this person. You get lost in this character. And there's another player in this film that I thought I was not gonna be talking about, but Tony Danza, man. This guy, whoo, awesome. This dude always gets clowned on, but man, he made me laugh so much that I shat my pants. It was embarrassing. I was with a girl I was trying to hook up with. Rule number one, don't ever bring a girl you're trying to hook up with to a movie about porn addiction. The whole yawn putting the arm thing over her shoulder doesn't work. No, whipping out your penis doesn't work either apparently. But shitting your pants, well, let's let's just say Ryan Wright got a few things right. The dynamics between him and Don Jon, you know, because he's the father of Don Jon. It's great. You totally buy this father-son relationship. Julianne Moore, she's really good in this movie too. Can't really talk too much about her because it'll ruin the film for you, but she's good and she manages to still be pretty fucking sexy. I would still have sex with this 89-year-old woman. I just assume that when you're in Hollywood and you're a woman after 40, you are in the high 80s. So that's where she's at. The writing! I really like this script a lot. It's fresh, it's funny, it's different, feels familiar, yet original. This film's been getting some criticism for, you know, having stereotypical characters in it, but as I was watching this film, I was just like, that's the point of the film. Look, this is just my own interpretation, but I felt like Jiggle used New Jersey people to communicate this story because the stereotypical, you know, macho New Jersey guy is like the perfect thing to use to communicate what it means to, you know, to be the embodiment of a man. You know, especially in America. You know, what the average man feels like they should be. Well, some of us are just a little bit more sensitive is all. Some of us have penises that are not the average size. Some of us are a lot bigger than the average size. Some of those people are not me. You know how like men are obsessed with, you know, getting buff, looking good, hanging out with their buddies, talking about sports and shit, and then most importantly, talking about getting some pussy? While you got people like Scarlett Johansson who are like love addicts, who are hooked on fantasy. The story deals a lot with imagery and the fronts that we put up. The main characters just seem so detached from like their own emotions from reality that they look for happiness elsewhere. Hence stuff like porn addiction. Look, ladies, in my opinion, just let your guy jerk off. It's human, it's biological, it's just plain damn science. As far as his direction goes, it's done beautifully. Every frame, every feeling that's just communicated. It's all of what Don Jon is experiencing in that very moment. Honestly, with the way I worked with the cinematographer, his editor, it was perfect, brilliant. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do think this film has some flaws, you know, even though it's a 90-minute film, I thought it dragged just a tiny bit in some spots. In the last 30 minutes, I thought it got a little too serious. This is a dramedy, and sometimes dramedies forget about the comedy part, and they just go with the draw part. But even in those moments, it was always intriguing, I was always engaged, but honestly, the ending, I had a hard time getting on board with. You know, I got the arc of the character, but at the same time I thought as a film it sort of just ended abruptly. Some people are gonna like it, I can totally see how some people are gonna feel the way I feel, and to those people, you and I are gonna be friends on Facebook. But honestly, the first hour had me cracking up, always had me amused, always had me engaged, and just purely fascinated by its confidence. Well, let me get straight to the point here. All in all, I gotta say, Don Jon got it super right. Alright guys, thanks for checking out my review for Don Jon. Why don't you go ahead, scroll that comment box below, and tell me, what is your favorite porn site? And if you want to go ahead and follow me on Twitter, you can click the link right here. Haha, fake-breasted ladies, that's for you. And if you want to see more in-depth review of Don Jon, go ahead and check out my show called Reasons to See that I do with my buddy Jerry. Jerry and I, whip out our Don Jons. And last but not least, if you want to get updated every time one of my reviews is out, go ahead and click on this button about my Don Jon to subscribe. That's right, the Don Jon. I'll tell you what things he likes. Blacks, Taiwanese, Korean, Mexican, Puerto Rican, the occasional white girl.